Hello everybody, how are ya? What's going on this evening? So, I was actually curious about something and I thought I'd make a good video on it, or try to make a video on it. And it's a thing called bullet setback. This is basically for anybody who loads and unloads their gun all the time. Whether through you carry and you unload your gun when you get home, you take a round out of the chamber and so on and so forth. Every night, and you use that same round every single night to load and unload your gun. There's this thing called bullet setback. That's, I guess, possible, but we're gonna find that out. What happens is through bullet setback is when, see, this is the rim of the case. Here's your bullet. Is when after loading and unloading enough times, this bullet actually gets set back in further in the case. I don't want to say jumps crimp, but just from the pressure of it hitting the feed ramp when it's loaded in, it gets the bullet gets set back in the case. Bullet setback. And I guess if it goes in there far enough, it could reach dangerous pressures. I don't think it'll blow your gun up, but it's a possibility, I guess. I mean, we'll see what happens here. I'm curious to see how far this gets set back, if it does at all. So I got the Canik out. It's disassembled. So what happens is basically when you load and unload your gun, obviously when you set it back in your magazine, your bullet back in your magazine, and reload it into the gun, it hits the feed ramp at enough of an angle to where it hits the feed ramp, puts a lot of pressure on it, and it sets this bullet back in further into the case. Possibly. I mean, we'll see. So, we'll start with a beginning measurement here. And we're going to do this with a 10mm too. But the Canik seems like it feeds pretty hard. So, we'll see what happens here. And we are at almost 1.1 inch. Almost exactly. So, bear that in mind, write it down, whatever you need to do. Let me put the gun back together again, and we'll put the bullet in the magazine. We'll load it and unload it a few times, and there's no need to set you guys up and so you guys can watch this. So we'll just we'll keep you updated here if anything happens. So stand by. Alright, so basically to simulate what we're doing, load around in the chamber, put the magazine in, rack around in. I'm gonna have to drop the mag and go like that and see what happens. Incidentally, let's see what happens here. We're at 1.10. Nothing changed yet, but that was only the first time, so we'll do this a few more times. We'll give you an update. Okay, 5 times. We're at 1.5 times. 1.10 inches was our start, and we're still there after 5 times. Still exactly the same. Nothing has changed. Try it for 10 and see what happens. Alright. Drop the mag out. This is 10 times. Let's see what happens. No movement whatsoever after 10 times. We'll go to 25 or so and see what happens. Alright. I did this with 2 different rounds. did this with 2 different rounds, and they both stayed the same. They were exactly the same length, no effect. I even found a little sweet spot in this pistol where it felt like it was hitting the bullet harder to make it go into the chamber harder, I guess. But no change. But that's just this gun. You might want to check and see if it works in your gun, or if it happens to you. You might want to carry. You might want to check it out. It might be worth your while. So, kind of a short video today, but might be something you want to check. So in the meantime, enjoy the weather, enjoy the sunshine if you got any. If it's not raining or windy or blowing or whatever. But till next time, you guys have a good evening. Thanks.